Here we are at Pan M360. We have the pleasure to interview Mr. Yoav Levanon,
Hello.
originally from Israel and playing piano this week at Lanaudière today, July 17th, and also on Saturday, July 20th, in a bigger concept with orchestra. So let's start by the recital. Bonjour, Yoav. How are you?
Bonjour. I'm great. How are you?
Good. It's your first time in Montreal and also in Lanaudière, isn't it?
Yes. It's going to be my debut in Canada. I'm really happy.
Yeah.
I arrived just like 2 days ago from Lisbon, and I really enjoy also the city and the people. They're so open, they're so warm, they're so nice. And I mean, I came here when I can see the sun outside the window. So I mean, what could be better?
So you rehearse in Montreal and you play in Lanaudière. So you back and forth, which is a very short distance, anyways.
Yes,
Cool.
indeed.
So we know that you started very very young. You have great talent. People in Israel just witnessed that, and people like Daniel Barenboim was involved with you in your own training. He was a kind of mentor, if I understand. And now you're close to be on your own. So you have your own career, and you can be a sort of individual soloist at a very young age. Is there a danger when we are a child prodigy in a way? Sometimes it has very very good impact. Sometimes it has a very bad impact. Child prodigy sometimes just stop at the early 20s because it's too much psychologically. And but I think it's not your case.
Yeah. You're right. I think there is a lot of psychological and strategy behind how you also approach, a career
Mm.
in order to be able to develop and keep yourself mentally and physically healthy. And also when it comes to your development as an artist, it's very important. And luckily, before now I have a top agency, a management, Harrison Parrott. And before, my father was kind of helping me with, managing everything, especially when I was young. But the beauty is, he always asked me, what do I want to do? And he always didn't look at himself like a manager. He looked at himself as a gatekeeper. And he basically said no to probably 99% of the invitation he got, unless he really saw like there is a potential for me to, evolve as an artist and also do something that is important. And it's very very important, I think, to look, as you said, also in the psychological aspect. And when it comes to the mentoring, to the artistic side of things, I, from quite a young age, had more than one person who is working with me. Of course, I also was learning in like theory and other musical related things. But when it comes to piano, piano teachers, piano mentors, I always try to have more than one. So then I can get different views and then create my own. I think that it's very, very important to develop your own individual and independent thinking. You should be able to kind of teach and mentor yourself. And it's very important not to lose yourself. It's very, very nice. And I always think that it's nice to get other people's views. So, I had Andras Schiff, I had Marie Pariah for many years. I had great teachers like Tatiana Zelikman and so on. So, and it's incredible, and I really love it. I really love that it's diverse and everyone has a different approach to music. So it's very, very nice. And it's so incredible how different it can be. And it's also inspiring to you that that like people figured out a lot of things, but there is a lot that can still be figured out. You can still find also your own. So it's this like nice mixture and balance of still like individually and independently thinking, but also getting and receiving.
Exactly. So you developed a sort of self-independence. You have to build that. Well, we know your talent. We know what you're capable of, but at the same time, a career is not only a question of brute talent. It has something to do with many aspects, and also a very very strong psychological um, little consciousness, I would say. So this is it. You explained it very well.
No,
So
thank you.
you're going to play two different concerts, a recital today. So you're going to play Bach, Chopin, and Liszt at the Église Saint-Barthélemy at 8 o'clock on July 17th. Well, today. And on
Okay.
Saturday, you're going to play the Concerto Number 1 of Tchaikovsky for piano, which is a fantastic piece too. So let's talk about the first concert. What are the challenges for you? You're going to play 12 Etudes from Chopin, 12 Etudes from Franz Liszt, and Etudes en Si mineur from Bach.
Yeah, I would say what is very, very important to me, and I've been running and recently playing the full cycle of the Transcendental Etudes of Liszt. And first of all, when I'm trying to create a concert, it's very important for me to first of all, I have to find what I connect with, what is something that I truly find fascinating, so I can bring out something incredible from it. But it's very important for me to build kind of a journey and go through different planes of sound, through different types of characters, and every period in classical music has something different to it. So I like going through this kind of process and journey. And what is very, very important to me, especially when I'm well known for taking stuff that is very considered as very virtuoso, it's important for me to always prioritize and focus on the musicality and showing the music inside of it. Because for me, I think that the beauty about virtuosity is it's just another kind of brush, another tool in your arsenal as an artist. It's like another brush in a painter. A painter has many brushes, different techniques he has to master, and virtuosity is just one of them. Just like playing Mozart can be very, very difficult, or Bach in their own way. Virtuosity is just another aspect, another thing that you have to master and work on as an artist. And it's important to really work to get to the point where you don't think about getting it right, but really focusing with the music above it. And I think that Transcendental Etudes are an incredible, because virtuosity is kind of a way to express, to show something that otherwise you can't. And there's so much incredibility that I'm
Yeah,
looking forward.
exactly. So you obviously understand what is the difference between technique, virtuosity, and musicality and expressivity. So what do you think you bring, even at your age? Of course, your playing will be different in 5 years, in 10 years, and 15 years. But right now, where do you see your own musicality, if we can put that in word? I know it doesn't explain everything,
Yes.
because music speaks by itself, but at the same time, you must think about those elements yourself when you try to transcend your own virtuosity.
Yes, yes, I agree with you. Naturally, obviously, as you said, in 5, 10 years, you're always different. And I'm really not, I do not pay an importance to my age. I'm trying to do things because that's what I connect with and I feel I can do it well. And, you know, my approach, as I understood, and sometimes I remember people would tell me that when someone plays, you can kind of understand and feel and hear their personality of the pianist as well. Well, some part of me, were a little bit scared of this kind of saying, because I always feel like you shouldn't hear so much the pianist, but the music. I realize it's actually true, because the more mature you get, I'm really into self-development and, becoming and, reaching emotional maturity. It's very important to understand, because, like, for example, when I go to stage and I go to an important stage, I do a debut, I go to Champs-Élysées, I go to Concertgebouw, I go to Carnegie Hall, all these places, you can easily get into this kind of mindset that, oh, I'm coming now on stage, and in the audience, that those people like teachers, piano players, these journalists, and they would like to hear, I know how to make them happy. I know this is what they want to hear. This is how they want it to. I know I can play sometimes the virtuoso aspects really faster than I do. And it's very, very important not to give in to those urges, not to give into this need to show, to do anything
Just
for
to
anyone.
please people that
Yeah,
should
exactly,
be
exactly.
evaluating you. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Not to kind of, leave or like try to live up to their expectation per se. And really, what is, I think, I really preach this, is to really think what is best for the music. How can you bring? I look at the music from many different ways. I learn about the composers. I learn theory so I can understand why they wrote what they wrote. I listen how people saw, and how they interpret the music. And I really try to see what is there in the music that you can bring out of it, and then just try to bring the best for the music.
Mhm.
Funnily enough, of course, when you bring the best out of the music, you are the best pianist you could be, But it's very, very important to kind of, how can I put it? Basically, put your ego out of the picture. Not think about you. Just do the best for the music. Give it like the structure, the platform to just express itself naturally and the best it can.
Exactly. So there comes naturally your own expression in a way, your personal expression.
Yeah, I think that, everyone sees music differently, and naturally, there are so many aspects, like, how you like, the rubato, every like stylistic thing, the hands, how you just touch the piano, everyone does it differently automatically. And the way I see and what I see in the music, everyone sees it differently. It's like you go to a beautiful view, a lot of painters will paint the same thing, everyone differently,
Mhm.
So I think it naturally happens, but you don't have to force. I don't like it when people try to force something. They try to make it extra something, try to extra do it like this or show themselves, because then it's not authentic, it's not real, and it takes away from the beauty of the actual music.
Excellent. So if we can be more specific about the pieces you're going to perform, let's take the Bach, and after the Chopin, the Liszt, and also finally the Tchaikovsky. So can you just give us a few words about each piece?
Yeah. Um, I'm really trying to, in this recital, we're starting with Bach Zilotti, and this very small piece is really spatial. I think that, like, especially in the hall that I'm about to play today, we sit down, everything throughout the day, people go through different things, and I'm trying like to create this atmosphere and experience where they can just put everything, outside of the hall, and just experience this wonderful music. And there is something really, you know I don't know, like very divine about it.
Hmm.
And I think it's a beautiful way to just put people into this mood. After we do that, we're going to go to um, uh, Bach Busoni, which is a very nice, I think, how the different elements play, because we have Busoni that brings different elements than what
Yeah.
Bach has, but there is Bach as the holding structure of everything. You can see, the theme being present throughout the. It's funny, I have the notes just in front of me here. You can see the theme present throughout this piece. And I really liked how Busoni was playing with the theme, and how everything is structured. I think it's a very nice, it's a very, very, it's really spatial. It's not something that you could hear mostly when you like play, for example, Chopin, which again, like we had this Bach Busoni, then we have the Chopin etudes, which I really, really love. What I really like about etudes, which you can see, I have Chopin etudes and Liszt etudes, is that etudes are like very quickly, in few minutes, you get this beautiful picture painted of this atmosphere, of this, of this thing. You get this like, picture, and then you have another one, and another one, and another one, and another one, so you can experience so many things in quite a short time.
Hmm.
um, so we're gonna go through Chopin, which is one of my favorites. I played it since I was very, very young. And afterwards, we're going to List Transcendentals, which I waited until I felt like it's the right time, when it just feels right to me to approach this masterpiece. And what can I say about it? It's just incredible. And you can say so much, so I don't know where to go, because if I'm going to just talk about one thing, then why don't talk about the other as well? I mean, both in Chopin and in the Transcendentals, we really, as I said, it's obvious with the power that you have with the etudes, but really, we go through so many different things.
Mhm.
And uh, I just love it. I just love it. And both of Chopin and Liszt, they were, like kind of friends and mentors that guide me through the developments and my discovery of the music world and the piano world as well. They were both incredible performers and composers,
Yeah.
which I aspire to be. And it's just really, really awesome to play them. And it's something that you can really connect with. Like, it really speaks to your soul.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And about the Tchaikovsky Piano Concerto Number 1, it's an incredible piece too. Well, you must think you also that he's a fantastic composer for piano. This piece is incredible. Is one of the best concertos for piano and orchestra from all the repertoire. What do you think yourself?
Yeah, I think it's absolutely incredible. I mean, it already has it has a name for itself, as they say, and for a very good reason. What I really love, I mean, in also, that's how I like to approach concertos. It's when it's not written for a piano and an orchestra, but we create something that is like, there is to get togetherness. Like, the piano is well fused with the orchestra per
The
se.
orchestra,
And
which is not
sometimes,
always the case. It's not always the case with the piano concertos with the orchestras.
yeah,
Sometimes it doesn't fuse very well.
yeah, exactly. Sometimes it feels like, I'm playing, and they're accompanying. And it's also important, I think, for the pianist, to understand the place and be dynamic, to also listen to the orchestra. I like when it's basically chamber music, but
Mhm.
just with more people. And sometimes, the clarinet might have their moments, their solo per se, and you listen to them, or you play together with them a duet. So I really, really like how Tchaikovsky orchestrates. I think he made an impact. It's really emotional. You listen to Romeo and Juliet. So many famous things. He created, obviously, and I really like how he managed to bring those elements that very, very present in the concerto, and also in his piano writing. You have a mini orchestra also. It's really, really cute.
And what are your expectations with the Montreal Symphony Orchestra and Rafael Payare?
Yeah, so I am practicing right now, where they also rehearse. So, I heard a little bit in the speakers, and then I was given the ability to silently open the door and listen to them practicing in the hall. And it sounds absolutely incredible. So I'm really, really looking forward. Tomorrow I already have the first rehearsal. So I think it's going to be such a wonderful time.
Of
Yeah.
course. Where are you based now? Are you based in Israel or in Europe? Where?
Right now I'm based in Germany.
In Germany.
Yes.
You left recently, Israel?
Yeah. I left. I don't know. The thing is, time really flies, and like the few last years, I've been traveling so much that you don't. I feel like I'm everywhere, and when you go everywhere and you explore and you talk to so many people from so many cultures, I know that a lot of people say this is like that, this is like this, but for me, it feels like everything is kind of the same. Like, there is different nuances and there is different history and background and traditions, but everyone is people. And I love how you can go literally anywhere in the world and you can just go and speak to people. I speak to people in planes, in trains, in the
Yeah,
street or whatever.
human beings are not so different with
Yeah, they're all the same.
all the same, exactly. You're
Yeah,
based in Berlin, aren't you?
close to Frankfurt, but sometimes I like to go to
Perfect.
Berlin. Yes.
So you live there now. Okay, fine.
Yes.
Okay, so you won't be back in Israel in the next future.
I will see. I will see. I did play with the Israeli Philharmonic
Hmm.
in Israel.
Yeah, well, now
So
it's not really the well. Go. Excuse me.
no, I was just performing with them, which I really really enjoyed. And I mean, I have to see. The thing is, sometimes people ask me where I'm going to be, and I like to keep it a little bit spontaneous, you know.
Yeah.
And sometimes just just do something, and sometimes like yes, I know what I'm going to play. There are some concerts that I already know in 1 or 2 years or 3 or whatever, but sometimes something just pops up, and I love this, and I love this, I love this. Also with concertos, suddenly you learn a concerto in a few days. Once I had to replace, suddenly play a Rachmaninoff 2, which I played first time, with the Israeli Philharmonic,
Hmm.
and just one day, sat down the full day, then I took a flight and played it. Yeah, it's
Excellent.
so fun.
So
Yeah.
we're looking forward to discover you in Quebec for the first time. Yoav Levanon, I thank you very much for this interview with Panan
Thank
360.
you.
So I wish you a great stay in Quebec.
Thank you so much. It's going to be real
Have a
fun.
have two great concerts.
Thank you.
Bye
Speak to
now.
you soon. Ciao, ciao.
Ciao, ciao.